heard all about it from his father.
Let's close it up. Four. There he comes right now. Inside. Unbelievable. Look shot. Was on his promise to come home and bring a championship.
The Basketball Podcast, also known as the M.O.B Podcast, NBA Finals Edition. I'm Evan.
I'm John.
And it's our basketball podcast. We recap, break down, and analyze players and teams in the finals from the previous games from the previous day. Game 1 is in the books of the NBA Finals. And, well, let's just say Suns comes to this game out-hustled, out-muscled, outsmarted, and out-skilled the Bucks.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly right there.
Yes, that is right. The Phoenix Suns do take Game 1 of the NBA Finals, defeating the Milwaukee Bucks at home. Look, if I can get the final scores, I can't remember. 118 to 105. And well, surprise to me, but Giannis did play.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis did play, and best player on the team, first finals, 2-time MVP. Yeah, he probably willed himself to get to this game.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at the notification on my phone, we've seen that he's doubtful. Next thing you know, I look, he's questionable. What the hell's going on here? Then, like an hour before the game, or 30 minutes before the game, I can't remember, it's announced that Giannis will play Game 1. And, yeah, that knee looked fine.
Yeah, he looked good out there, man. He looked good. So somebody's coming back from a hyperextended leg injury. It wasn't severe or anything, luckily, but he's back, and you clearly tell it wasn't that severe because he was back on the floor and he was doing his thing to try to help out his team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was doing this thing when that monster block he had on the kill. He just came swooping.
Yeah.
And I saw that as soon as he passed half court, I said, this is going to be a block. So
it's not a LeBron James block, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it's not Game 7 against the 73-9 team, sure.
Yeah.
Since some guy with the that would take the last shot with Faded Universe on the line, but it was still an impressive block nonetheless. And he did play well, for what you expect for his first game back while playing injured. He didn't shoot the ball as much, or he didn't lay the ball up because he don't like to shoot. Lay up and dunk as much, attempt shots in the paint as much. But he was effective when he was out there.
Yeah.
But this Suns team, they're just too good. They're just too good.
We talked about it, right? Everything. They have all the natural skill, the ability, talented, the connection. They're all, like everything, like their execution of play, their connection, the way that they were communicating, the way that they were being effective, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses. You can just see it all out in this Game 1. Hence why I'm telling you right now, based on what you just saw in this game, they are going, well, again, we got more basketball to be played, but I really feel deep down they will be champions if they just play like this each and every time.
Yeah, and obviously I agree with you because I have them winning this as well. And when you got the Bucks with their inconsistent basketball, It makes it easier for you. I mean, the Bucks. Every time I just watch them play, they just get me so frustrated. Oh, like a lot of the time in this game, as you mentioned, one-on-one basketball. Holiday and Middleton both struggled from the field. Middleton did step it up a little bit more in the second half, trying to keep them in the game. But that first half, and especially for Holiday, he really struggled. And both of them, it's when the offense is cold or they're trying to get a bucket, it's one-on-one, it's one-on-one, it's one-on-one. And this is not how you should play. It's not how the Bucks play with their best, especially with Holiday when he's one-on-one and he's shooting threes and it shows you he's not that great of a three-point shooter. You were 0-4. You know, like you have to be aggressive. And when he was aggressive and attacking, he scored. Or he created opportunities. Just because Giannis is back in the lineup and back in the game doesn't mean you can go back to how he was playing before. No, I need that Durali that we saw in the Hawks series, that aggression. In the paint, aggression, attacking the paint.
Yeah, look, we called this out yesterday, man. We called it out yesterday again. There's a difference. The Suns have multiple offensive executions of plays that they could do. Like they have different they're versatile with their play style in terms of what they could do offensively that the Bucks don't have. And one of those things that the Suns do have that they showed a lot in this game that the Bucks don't have, they got exposed in one of these rounds, is the fact of one-on-one basketball situations. They're not, don't get me wrong, again, Drew Holiday is great ISO situations when he's attacking. Just like you said, when he's attacking, he's being aggressive. When he starts to try to step back and settle for a jump shot, we see that if it's not mid-range, he's not making it. You can see when you have to rely too much on Middleton on a one-on-one situation, you can see if he doesn't have it cook on, he doesn't have a rhythm going already, which he did a little bit within that third quarter, it's not going to work out for you. The Bucks are not a one-on-one team because they don't have one-on-one natural feel kind of ISO players to help them out. Notice again, they got Drew and they got Chris, but that is all about it. But, unlike the Suns, who got basically. Now go on.
And to add on to what you were saying, it's not about like one-on-one because obviously you can't win a championship just being one-on-one. But you need players, and you need to have those players that can get you one-on-one type baskets. But the Suns are not a one-on-one basketball team. But they have those players that can go one-on-one.
Exactly.
That's what sets them apart from obviously the rest of the league and from the Bucks. But getting back to the Bucks, I mean, that was on the offensive side of the ball. Now on defense, that third quarter run by the Suns team, I think it was picking apart that pick and roll. Well, Chris Paul was picking apart that pick and roll. Just picking apart. Then Devin Booker joined on. And
well, they don't call him a point guard for no reason.
Yeah. Yep. And it was just a point where I'm just like, why? With all due respect, why is Bobby Portis in the game? They were killing him. Chris Paul was killing him. And it comes to a point where you need to take him out the game, and this is what I mean with adjustments and Coach Mike and Ike. It takes too long sometimes with these adjustments. At the start of the fourth quarter, you saw that they made the adjustment to go with Giannis the 5. And what happened? They got back into the game. However, it was a little bit too late for that adjustment because you're not just going to shut down the Suns for the entire quarter. You know what I'm saying? So when they were building that run in that third quarter, you needed to make that adjustment before it got to that point. You didn't. They made the adjustment too late. And you saw, you got back into the game, cut the lead, a 20-point lead to 7.
Yeah.
However, like I said, the Suns team is just really good offensively. So you're just not going to shut them down. I mean, they have to be shooting really bad for that to happen. And they weren't shooting that bad last night. So you need to, Mike Budenholzer, my fault, but just real quick, Mike Budenholzer just needed to make that adjustment quicker in that third quarter.
Yeah, man, you bring it up so great right there. Again, the Bucks defense just looked like they were all out of sorts, all out of shape. And this is surprising because we're talking about a great defensive team in the Bucks. This is that's what we're talking about. The fact that they just looked like they were deer at, like, what they call that, a deer with headlights in the road or whatsoever, whatever that saying is whatsoever. That's how they really looked at. They looked lost out there. Again, most importantly, you brung it up specifically. They ain't know how to guard the pick and roll. Ayton and Chris Paul, their connection was beautiful. Or whoever was on the situation with Ayton in the pick and roll looked beautiful. They looked like they were the greatest point guards out there, man. Anybody with Ayton, because the way that they were getting the ball to Ayton inside after the pick and roll situation was like they didn't know how to stop that. They didn't know how to counter that, cover that whatsoever. And or again, when you got the fact of that happening, they're shooting well from the outside. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are scoring in the mid range each and every second. It's just like that's a recipe for disaster for the Bucks. That is a recipe for disaster for the Bucks. And you can see, just like what you said, they made that adjustment. They moved Giannis to the 5. They started to play a better defense. Their defense in connection, they tried to limit them from going inside or having those pick and roll situations. They got it tighter. And you start to see that they started to go on their run. But just like what you said, you can't hold down this Suns team for long. They're not having a cold shooting game whatsoever. They're going to continue to do theirs, especially when you got Chris Paul.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. And you gotta get that small ball lineup earlier. I don't think with the way they're playing, I mean, it's just like what happened in the Nets series when they had the KD pick and roll, and it was taking advantage of Brook Lopez. In the Hawks series, the pick and roll with Trae Young, and he was taking advantage of Brook Lopez, who was 20 feet away from him, and Bobby Portis as well. And it's just the same thing is just happening again. It's just killing you. It's just a little bit different. They're killing you on the pick and roll. You have no answer to stop it. You make adjustments too late, and you risk losing this pivotal game 1 and you get out ahead. But above all else, I mean, it's just the Suns team is just they're different. On their defensive side of the ball, they were spectacular. I can talk about the Bucks going 1-on-1, and they need to play in the paint more, but they just missed shots.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of points in the paint. They missed a lot of open shots. But a lot of those points in the paint that they missed was because of the Suns' defense.
Yeah. The Suns, they were hounding on defensively, especially whenever you look at the beautiful thing is their defensive contests within the paint. It's like whenever a Bucks player try to drive into the paint, or whenever they receive the ball into the paint, or you see his hands just swiping at the ball immediately, swipe, contest right in the middle of the paint. Like the way that the Suns were playing defense, especially in that paint, was beautiful. It's the amount of times in which the Bucks, just like we said, they struggled from scoring in the paint. They missed a lot of certain shots and things like that. They got good looks, missed. They got into the paint, contested. It was just difficult for the Bucks from that standpoint because the Suns were just on it like that because they know what will happen if the Bucks get hot inside too. Especially when you have somebody like Giannis, who even though isn't 100% yet, he was still really effective. And it's hard to stop him from doing what he does when he gets into that paint area.
Mm-hmm. But I gotta say,
I got it. Sorry, my bad.
But I gotta say, for how dominant Giannis can be, the Suns really did a great job. The best they could at guarding him. Jay Crowder, he really did a great job when he was put on Giannis. Drawing fouls.
Yeah.
Roughing them up a little bit, swiping at the ball, getting them uncomfortable. That's what you love to see from a guy. Jay Crowder is the only player on both teams that's been to the finals.
Yeah. He knows this. He knows the stage pretty well. He knows how it is to play in the team concept of team aspect and how a team is what wins the championship. And he's shown it. He's shown his value. He's shown his role in this team. He doesn't care to do anything else but play it on the defensive end. And whenever he gets his shots, with opportunity to get his shots when he's wide open, he will take them, and that's what Jay Crowder was doing this whole game.
Yeah, but in this game, he was taking them, but he wasn't really making them in this game. But on the defensive side of the ball, he made up for it. Also, Cam Johnson late also has some big has had that big steal on Giannis and played good on Giannis when he was up on against them, swiping them up, because once Giannis goes up, you got a foul. But the way Jay Crowder and Cam Johnson and these guys, they just don't let him get into that position. Because once he gets into that position, that's it. So swipe at the ball.
Yeah.
Try to steal the ball, draw a foul, and that's what both of those guys they did that great on Giannis. I must say.
Yeah, no question. And and oh, my bad.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, and you want to talk about things defensively. They whenever it did happen and they ended up fouling him, they kind of went smart because Giannis did hit his free throws a little bit. He did hit his free throws, but in crucial moments down the stretch,
it was
those count ups from 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You know how that went.
Yep. Yep. I mean, but ball, I can't criticize that right now with Giannis. I think I've already criticized him in the past. He knows that he got his free throws. Milwaukee, they know they got to live with that now. So you got to work around it. Shaq misses free throws too.
Yeah.
But, and Shaq was as dominant. I think Giannis is what did I say last time? What I say to you? He is the most dominant player since Shaq. Yeah. He's not as dominant as Shaq, because Shaq is the most dominant player I think we'll ever see. But the way that Giannis can just command the paint and just take over with his physical ability is tremendous. But Suns didn't allow that to happen. Also, the Suns got a lot of turnovers. I mean, a lot of key turnovers on guys like Drew Holiday, on Middleton, Giannis. I mean, swiping at the ball, intercepting the ball, making everything uncomfortable. Their defense all night was great, not just in the paint.
Yeah. Again, that communication defensively, it goes a long way, especially in a situation like the finals. You need that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got to give a shout out to those guys defensively. Guys like Kel Bridges, guys like even Devin Booker played great defensively. Of course, Chris Paul. And now let's talk about the man, Chris Paul. He's here, 16 years. It's been a long, hard, grueling fight, but he's here and he wants everybody to know it. He had an iffy first quarter. And then after that, that was Chris Paul. After that, it was Chris Paul.
Yeah, man. Look, let me tell you something. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is Chris Paul. I waited a decade and a half long for this situation. I am finally here. Who the fuck is going to stop me? Who is going to stop me from doing what I want to do? I've been waiting too long for this situation. I'm here now. This is my moment. Who is going to stop me? And let me tell you something. No one got in his way. I swear, no one got in his way. And one thing for sure that this playoffs is showing is, again, people like to talk about the mid-range being dead. The casual talk, mid-range being dead, right? Well, throughout this whole playoffs, and most importantly, from these two guys, him and Devin Booker, they are constantly continuing to show how when it gets down to situations like these in a half-court game, the mid-range will always be the most reliable shot in basketball when needed. And he was cooking them from the mid-range, just cooking them. You could say it's because of the pick and roll, but again, in those ISO situations, they could have stopped. Did you see what he did? What he did to Bobby Portis, I believe.
Well, or just one possession or all night.
Just know, Chris Paul was embarrassing these dudes in any way possible, whether it was ISO, pick and rolls, tacking. He just had them on skates. Had everybody on skates the whole night. Had them. They had their backs against the wall. I can tell you that for a fact. They couldn't stop him at all, and he was just again in these moments, best player on the team. He's going for it. He's just going for it at all times.
Yeah. And you say mid range, and yes, a lot of it was mid range, and he's been deadly in mid range. But it wasn't just mid range. He was attacking.
Yeah.
He was getting to the hoop. 3-pointer was going for him. He was 4 for 7. I mean, it was just everything, especially in that third quarter. Even though he did play great in the second quarter and the fourth quarter, but that third quarter specifically, where they went on that big run to get to that double-digit lead, he was just unstoppable. Like I said, that pick and roll was just deadly. You said it. Pick and roll between him and Ayton played fantastic last night. He played fantastic last night. But that pick and roll between them two, it was unstoppable. It's pick and roll.
X factor.
Yeah, X factor. Pick and roll, give it to Ayton, dunk, layup. Pick and roll, lob, Ayton, dunk. It was just, and Ayton was tremendous. And he 22 and 19. 22 and 19. That's what you want to see from a former number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, no question.
Also, I love the way he was playing all night. Obviously, Chris Paul helped with that a lot, and he was playing tremendous all night. Devin Booker, even though he didn't have the best in terms of shooting efficiency, he was great in terms of when he was helping building the run, when he was helping stop the Bucks, trying to gain some momentum. In certain parts of the game, he hit shots when he needed to. So you got to commend him for that. Mikal Bridges, I mentioned how vital he is to the Suns team, how much of a key he's become to the Suns team, and he was big time as well in terms of his offense and defense. But and in this game, it was both. Offensive side of the ball, he had 14. I already mentioned defensively, he played great along with the rest of the team. And Mikal Bridges, the way he's able to catch and shoot, relieve pressure off the stars, and help gain momentum for the rest of the team. And speaking of gain momentum for the rest of the team, Cameron Payne mentioned, especially in that fourth quarter, he hit some big shots. When the Bucks were trying to come back to this game. He hit some big threes, got to the paint. I mean, he had 10 big points in 14 minutes. So the Suns team, like I said, they're too much. I believe they're just too much for this Bucks team. They have it all.
Yeah, man.
They have it all.
Yeah, man. Look. You talk about the fact that they're young. They're more naturally. They're just more natural hoopers. They're better in situations like these, especially offensively. And they just have it. They just have some. I don't know what it is. I know that the Bucks, they made only one change in the year in terms of adding on a player or adding on 2 players. I forgot they have Jeff Teague, but
and Bobby Portis using
and Bobby and Bobby Portis, but
Oh, PJ Tucker. They made some changes.
They made some changes, but again, it's crazy because again, you got to compare the fact of experience. And I'm not talking about individual experience. I'm talking about team experience at this point. Like, majority of those players on the Bucks team have been together for a good minute. They've been in situations in which they have failed before, and yet they should be better than this. They should, just like you keep saying it, but let's be honest, it's truthful. They should be better than this, and yet the Suns team seems like as they got 10 light years ahead of experience than them, especially after this game with the way that they were playing. So it's tough. It's tough to look at. But hey, the Suns are just on a different level, man.
Yep, the Suns are on a different level. And also gotta give credit for the way they got to the hoop and draw fouls on defense and on offense. They draw a lot of fouls, and they made almost every free throw. They only missed 1 free throw. So I mean, when you're drawing fouls and making free throws and playing defense like the way they were playing with the players that they got and the way they were playing, it's very hard to lose. So, going 25-26 from the free throw line. And in the end, it was the Phoenix Suns, I said, taking game 1 of the NBA Finals. Well, that's game 1, Ja. That's game 1, Ja. What about game 2? Because Thursday, game 2 on ABC, 9 o'clock. The Bucks look to rebound after, well, we just talked about it. They lost to Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're looking up to tie the series up, and Phoenix looking to get the home sweep. Who you got?
I feel like it's going to be a more closer game this time. I feel like even though you don't like Mike and Ike, how oh yeah, but as I was saying, my fault about that, ladies and gentlemen. But as I was saying, I know you have a little bit of like, that thing from Coach Mike and Ike in terms of his strategies and bad moments and stuff like that, wrong moments or not making the strategies. But I feel like this Bucks team will make changes. They will be better. They will learn from this. They will make strategies. It will be a closer game, and it will be a tough battle. But I think they will be able to get a game on the road, and they crucially need it. So I got the Bucks winning game 2.
Yes, they do crucially need this game. It's a big game, NBA Finals, especially with the way the Suns play on the road. They're gonna need this game. Just don't think they're gonna get it. So I got the Suns winning this game long as well. Like I said, after game 1, despite I do think I guess, gonna make some changes. Or they better make some changes, Mike. But I mean, the Suns team, they just play so amazing at home, and they just have it all. I think that momentum is going to be on their side. We'll see how Giannis plays in game 2, but yeah, I got the Suns game 2.
Hey, let me tell you something. Momentum has been on the Suns side since they found out they was going to be the second seed, man. Like, let's just be honest. It's been on their side since then.
Since 80 got hurt.
Yep. He was like, "Oh no!" He was like, "No, AD, we got this. Who the hell's the king? What the king has against the Valley?"
Don't do that. But all right. Also, by the way, forgot to mention Dario Saric did get hurt in game 1 and didn't return. So hopefully he's able to come back. You mentioned that's one of your favorite players that you love to watch on this team.
Yeah. No question.
In terms of his skill and what he can do and what he brings to the table, even though he doesn't play as much as the rest of his guys. But hopefully we get to see him back. A player you don't want to miss the NBA Finals. It's all year you've been waiting for, all your career you've been waiting for. So hopefully he's coming back. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with him. So just want to get that out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think that is all. Any final thoughts?
Man, what a way to show out CP3. It's all love over here, man. The small guys, we got to keep each other up,
The small. Okay. Anything else?
Nah, that's it. What? What did I say?
Good job on the Phoenix Suns by winning game 1, but obviously it's not the end of the road. It's not the Super Bowl. You don't just win 1 game. You gotta win 4. So see, Phoenix Suns gotta get the job done. And as for the Bucks, just gotta bounce back for game 2, take every game step by step. But all right. All of that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Friday's podcast, because that's when the next
game will be happening.
Game will be Thursday, so you can come on the podcast Friday. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
And also follow our IG and our TikTok down in the description below.
And of course, once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball podcast.
NBA Finals Championship Edition.
NBA Finals Edition.